Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the next video in Python programming series. So today we are going to discuss about how to establish a client and server communication, and then we will be sending two strings or two numbers to the server, and we will be doing some arithmetics at the server end. Then we will be getting that result from the server and displaying at the client end. Okay, so that's the problem which we are going to solve in this session. So before that, I just want to tell something. Okay, so based on my experience and whatever I have felt in these programming days, so I just wanted to share you some feelings, or I can say some experience, I can say. Okay, so um, first guys, if you want to really want to learn the programming, then just don't waste your time on learning the things like how the if loop works, how the for loop works, how what is the syntax for the list, the tuples, the dictionary, because they are just the basic things, so everyone will be knowing that one. So what you want to do, if you want to be better than others, then try to solve some problems, because they will be giving you the confidence. So your analytical skills will be increased due to that one. So if you solve some tough problems, then your confidence level will increase, and if you include just them in your resume or in your GitHub profile, then the interviewer will be impressed, because he is capable of solving complex problems. So if you solve these complex problems, then the simple problems you can just write it easily. So that's why I just want to say, because the crappy videos which are present on today's YouTube, that is, they will be taking 2-3 hours tutorial, and they will just tell you how the for loop will be working, and they will not go beyond that for loop, while loop, and adding two numbers, subtracting two numbers, and multiplication. And they will just show you how to swap the numbers, how to swap the string, and how to reverse the string. So that I just don't want to learn those things. I just want to be ahead of others. So that's why I just want to do something which is crazy and which I will be using. So as I said in my previous videos as well, I will be uploading videos which are tougher, because the length of the video which I have uploaded previously is 51 minutes, because I will be explaining each and every line in this program, and I will be explaining it very slowly, because absolute beginner should be understanding the program. So my very basic motto of this tutorials is to motivate the students to try out, learn new things, so new things, and build some projects as well. So as I already said you in my previous videos, I have already posted two projects in this video tutorial. So if you have not seen those, you can check the playlist. So I have created a number game, so you can just create a real number game with the help of this Python code. So it is just a 150 line code, which is well structured, and it is having all the detailed explanation. So you can find that one. And I'm not saying that you just see my videos only, so you can see anyone's video, but don't waste the time on seeing those, like very basic things. They will be teaching, like they will be creating some boxes, and they will be putting. So we are not at that point, we have crossed the beginner level, so we are in the middle of beginner level. So we just want to try new things. So if you want to create some projects, then you will be not asked to do work on those for loops and while loops. Anyhow, you will be knowing those things, and if you read once, then you will come to understand. But the problem is, how will you approach to these type of problems? So if you solve these type of questions, then you will come to know what are the libraries there which are present in Python, which I can use, and which libraries are most suitable for me. So all these kinds of doubts will be cleared by solving these type of questions. So I'm not telling you solve in my profile only, so you can go to other channels and solve there also. But I just want you to frankly tell that don't waste time on those things, just try to solve some tougher problems as well. So that's all about my experience, or my opinion, or my feeling, or you can take anything as a friend. I'm just telling those things. So that's done for that one. Let us start this client server communication coding now. So let me just open my Python shell. So here I have two windows. The first one is for client and the second one is for server. So this one is the server, as you can see here, and the first one is the client. Okay, so this is the client window. Let me just take it aside. Okay, so the program, as I said in introduction itself, so I will be sending two numbers from the client side. So they will be reaching this server end and they will be computed. That is, the math is done, that is basically addition in this case. So the added numbers, whatever result we will be getting, it is sent back to the client and it is displayed over here. So as you can see here, I have tried different examples here. So 4 5, then 123. So let me just turn another number where you can see. So I will just try 20 and 30. So I will just send 20 and 30 from the client end, it will be sent to the server. So if I hit enter here, so you can see sending first number 20, then received first number 20 here, sending second number 30 and received second number 30, sending the result, that is 50, and the addition of the two numbers is 50. So like this, whatever numbers I will be sending from client end, those will be computed at the server end and the result will be sent back to the client. So this is what we will be getting at the output. Alright guys, so before we move to the actual coding part, we'll just read the problem once and try to understand what is actually asked there. So the problem is like this: write an Python program to establish the communication between client and server. Also send two numbers from client, so sorry, I could have given a space here, from client end, and add those numbers at the server end and then display the result at the client end. So what they are telling is, you have to establish the connection between client and server. Okay, so the client may be on the same machine or they can be on the different machine. So here it is not necessary that client and server should be on the same machine. So for now I am showing in on the same machine, that is in the same lapim, but they can be on a different computer. So one program is in your computer and another program is in the your friend's computer, then they can communicate with the help of this socket concept. So this I have told in my previous video. So then I will be sending two numbers from the client end, so that will be sent to the server and server has to do the computation, that is basically addition of those two numbers, and the result should be forwarded to the client end and that should be displayed at the client end. So this is the question. So it is very important for us to understand the question. So once you understand the questions thoroughly, then half of your problem has been solved, because if you know what are the requirements, then you can work it efficiently on that particular problem. So let me just open now Python shell here. So I'm using 2.7.18, so that is the stable one. So I will just go to file and create a new file here. So and I will just save this one first. So with the name, let us say client, I will save. So I will just write client here. So sorry, I could have not written here. So I will press Ctrl S. So I will save it as client. So client.py file I will be saving. So I will save this one and again I will go to file and create new file, because we need two programs here. So one for the client end and another for the server end, so that we will be sending the data from client to the server and server to client. So basically we will be using two programs and we will be seeing the output at the command prompt. So we will not see the output in the Python shell here, so we will be seeing at the command prompt, as I have said, as I have already showed in the output. Okay, so let me just save this one as the server. So I will save this as the server file. So now I have created two files here. One is the client and another is the server. So first I will write the code for client and then I will be writing for the server. So first line for this one, I will just import socket. So that's the important concept content in this one. And if you don't know about socket, then you can refer the previous videos, guys. So I can't explain it all here because it's a big concept and little bit tricky as well. So if you see the video, then you will understand thoroughly. But just for sake of understanding now, I will just say about concept is it is a tool which is used to establish the connection between client and a server. Then I will import system, that is this one, and then I will import time as well because we need that one also. So I imported three standard libraries here. Then I will create a user defined function called as client main, I can say. I will just create a function name called client main, and it will be taking two parameters, the first name and the second first number and the second number. First number, and it will be taking second parameter as the second number because we want to add up two numbers which are sent by this client. So I will be having two variables, first number and second number here. So then what I will do, I will create a socket here. So I can say a variable called client sock, so which will be equal to socket dot socket, and this will basically create the socket for me. And then I will get the IP address of the host machine by using this command. So socket dot get host name. So this will basically return me the IP address of the machine on which the current code is running. So for this scenario, it will be returning the IP address of my LAPI. Then I will use the port number here. So the port number is basically the number which is not used by any other protocol. So 389 is one such number which is not used by any other protocols. And for this also I have already told the explanation in my previous video where I have explained about how to establish the connection between client and server, and how I can transfer two strings between client and the server. So I can say this is the continued part of that one. So I can say this is the improved part of that one. So if you see that video and then if you come for this one, I think it will be very useful for you to understand. So I will just quickly now connect these address, that is machine address and the port address. So I can use this code here, client sock, that is the handle of the socket, and I will just connect this one. Connect, what I need to connect is machine and port. So I need to connect machine, that is IP address machine, and I need to connect these two addresses. Machine is nothing but IP and port address. So now I have connected the address and created a new address that is stored in this client stock. Then I will use first okay, so now my building of client side is done. Then what I will do, I will send the first number here. So I will just take the handle, that is client sock. So this is the handle of the socket, and then I will just write send, what I want to send is first number. So I will write first number, and I want to encode this information because no one should steal our information. So I will be encoding that one, and I will just write a print statement here. It is just the sake of my understanding. Okay, so I should know what is happening in the program, so I will be writing this print statement. So this will basically help me to analyze where the errors are there and up to what line my code is working correctly. So I will just write sending the first number, and that number is first num. Okay, so I have sent the first number, and now it's time to send the second number. So I will do the same thing here. I will take the handle, that is socket handle, and I will write send, and in bracket I have to mention second number, and I should encode that one as well. So I have encoded the information. Okay, then I will print here. So what I'm doing, I will be printing here. So I will just mention here sending the second number. Then I will just print second number here. Okay, so now I am sending the second number. Alright, so I have sent second number as well here. Then what I will do, I want to receive the information from the server, because it will be taking this first number and second number, and it will be adding these numbers together and creating a sum. That sum will be sent to this client again. So to receive that sum, I should keep this client in the receiving mode. Then only it will be able to get the message which is sent by the server. So I will put this client now in the receiving mode. So how I can do that one? So I will just take an variable called server total, that is the total amount, the total number which is sent by the server, and which will be equal to so how I will be taking that one, let us see. So client socket, that is the handle of the client, and then I will put it in the receive mode. So this is receive mode, and it will be accepting maximum 1024 bytes, so which is huge number which anyone can send. So I will just decode the information which is came from the server. So here I have encoded the information, and similarly the added sum will be encoded at the server end. So that one I should decode here. So once I write the whole program, then I will explain you again so what exactly it is happening. So don't worry if you are not understanding for this movement. Okay, then I will print here. So what I will be printing is I will just print the sum here. So what I will write, the addition of two numbers is, so I will just print the sum here. So server total, so this is the sum which I have received. Then I will just now I have received the addition, that is sum from the server, and it's time to close this because no work is left out for me. So I will just close this one. So I will take the handle of client socket and I will close this one. So I will just write close, and this will close the client. Okay, so then it is a user defined function, guys, right? So because I have written in the definition, so we know that until and unless we call the user defined function, it will not execute. So now I need to call that one. So what I will do, I will use the standard format of Python, that is underscore underscore name, and then underscore underscore, and then equal to in double quotes you have to write main, and before that one I have to write main, and write like this. If I write, then it will be like a standard practice. So similarly just like we'll be using in C program a main and open close bracket, and which the sum all the code which is written below that code will be taken as the whole body of that program. So the same thing is here. So this is the standard line which you should include in Python code. Okay, so then I will just call the name, that is client main here. So I will write client main, and it is taking two arguments. So to make it a command prompt argument, I will use the standard library system. So I will just write like this, system dot argument, and it will be taking first parameter, so I will mention index as 1, and then again I will call the system function, and it is also an argument, so it is a second argument, so I will mention it as second. So this will basically do the work of command prompt input. So I need not to give the input here. If I give at the command prompt, then it will be taken automatically. So that is basically done with the help of this system, so import system. That's why I have written there. So now I think my client side code is complete, and I will just save this one, press Ctrl S, and then I will go for the next one, that is server end. Okay, so the server end is pretty much similar to the client end, and let me just write this one. So if you can see here, okay, so I will just import socket again. So if you observe, few lines are same for client as well as the server. So I will use again user defined function, and I will name it as server maybe init. So server init is the name of the server end user defined function, and then it is taking no arguments, because it is a server and it is meant to serve, it is not meant to take any arguments. Okay, so then what I will do, I will create a handle for this one as well, that is server socket. So it is a handle, and I will just create this one, that is socket dot socket. So this will create a socket at the server end. Then the same thing for this one, that is to obtain IP address. So I will write machine equal to then use socket and get host name. So this will basically get the IP address of the machine. So in this case the IP address will be same, because we are executing both the programs on a same system. Okay, then I will just mention the port address as 389, which would be same for both the client and server files, and then I will bind the address. So server socket dot bind, and what I want to bind is two things, the machine and the port address, machine and port. So these are the two addresses which I want to bind. Okay, alright, so then I will put this server in the listen mode, because whatever first and second number the client will be sending, that should be received by the server. So I have to put it in the listen mode. So what I will do, server socket, that is the handle of the server side socket, and I will just put it in the listen mode for 5 seconds. So I will mention time here. So it is in the listen mode for 5 seconds here. Then I will just write a print statement, just for my sake of understanding, to know what is happening in my program. So I will write server is good to go. Okay, so I just write like this, server is good to go now. So you can proceed in your program. Then I will use a while loop, guys. So why I am using while loop is until and unless this client stops the data which it will be sending, this should not stop. So what I will do, I will put it in a infinite loop. So what will be happening is, as many times as the client will be sending data, the server will keep on receiving that one, so it will not reject any data. So to avoid the rejection of data, I will be using while loop at the server end. So I will just mention it like true, then it will become infinite loop, and inside this loop I will just mention some code here. So I will create a communication pipe, that is like this, and communication pipe and address. Okay, so this will be taken from the server socket handle. So server socket, then accept. So what this line will be doing is, this communication pipe is the separate frequency which is allocated for communication between this particular client and server. So it will be some 6 digit number, I think. And then address, this address is the address of client, so from whom the messages are delivered for this particular server. So this will be basically the client address, and this function will return two arguments here, the communication pipe and address. So this is the code which I can write. Okay, then what I will do now, I have got the communication pipe and address of the client. Then I will just receive the first number now. So I will name the first number as client number 1, so it will be easy for me to understand. And I will just take communication pipe and I will put it in the receive mode, and it should receive maximum 1024 bytes. Okay, then it is encoded at the client end, so I need to decode here. So I will just decode that information. Then I will write a print statement here saying that uh, received first number. I will write like this, and that is stored in client num1. So that is the variable which is storing that one. Then I will again put this in the second receiving mode to receive second number. So I will just write client num2 equal to communication pipe dot receive, and it should receive maximum 1024 bytes, and it should decode it as well. So it should decode that one. Then I will write again the print statement here. So that is second number is received, and I will just mention that one here. So that is client num2. So this is the variable which is holding the second number. Then what I will do, I will calculate the sum now. So I will name it as total, and it will be int of, so I will just mention integer because I don't want any floating and characters here. So it will otherwise it will throw an error here. So I just want to add two integers. So I will just mention first one client num1, and it should be added with another integer. So that's why I'm specifying int here. So the meaning of int is, if it is a floating point value, then it will convert it to integer. So if it is 13.1, it will be converted to 13, so that it will be easily added, so that the family of this client number 1 and client number 2 will become same, and they will be added up easily. So that is the basic motto behind creating it to the integer. Then I will just mention client number 2. Okay, so these are the two this is the sum which I have created. Then I will write a printing statement here, so which basically says sending the result. So now I am sending the result. So I have created a result, right? So total equal to number 1 plus number 2. Then I need to send this total to the client end, so that it can be displayed on that platform, or that command prompt, I can say in this case. So that is basically total I want to send. Okay, then once I have sent the total, then I will just I still have not sent this total. So if you can observe, I need to use communication pipe dot send, and what I want to send I have to mention. So I will just mention here. So I want to send, so as I said earlier also, whatever we'll be sending in this communication, it is all sent in terms of string. So that's why I will convert this total into the string. So string of total I will mention. Okay, then I have to encode this information as well. So encode this information. Okay, so now I have encoded the information, and now it's time to close the communication pipe. So let me just come here, and I will just write communication pipe dot close, and this will close the communication pipe, and whatever 6-digit number which is allocated for this particular client and server, it will be disallocated, or it will be given to some other programs or some other connections which are trying to access. So note that here I'm not closing the socket. So if you can observe here, in my client end I have closed the socket itself, but here I have just created a communication pipe, and that pipe I am now ending. I will not end the socket at the server end, because we know that servers are meant for continuous operation. So if you want to search something and that thing is not there, then how you can search? So same thing will happen if I shut down the server and try to access something from that one. So that the concept here is that the server should be up every time, and it should be running every time. So it should be on for a infinite amount of time. Okay, so now I will just call this definition here. So I have written a definition, right? So then I will call this one. So that is also called as a driver code. So same thing here. So first I will write the standard format equal to, and I have to write main. Okay, so now I have written a standard format, and now I can call the function. So what I will do, I will just write the function name here. So what is the user defined function name? Server init. So I will just write server init. So this is the user defined name, and it is not taking any arguments because it is a server. So that's about the server end code which we'll be writing. And don't worry if you get some errors, then we'll just remove those things by careful observation. So let me just now open the command prompt, because as I said, we'll be seeing the output at command prompt itself. So I will just open command prompt now, and I will again go to the next one, that is one command prompt for client and one for server. So make sure that I am using the I am saving the files in Python 27, that is first it is in C and then it is in Python 27. So now the directory is users and Intel, so it will be not able to find out these client and server files. So I will change directory now. Change directory cd space dot dot will change the directory to the previous one, that is it now previously it was in Intel, now it is came to users, and again I will delete this directory as well, change directory. So now it is in C. Now I want to add the directory, that is change directory to Python 27. So now I will be moving into the Python 27. So the name of the server file is server itself. So I will write server.py, that is Python file, and I'll just leave for this moment, and I will come to this one, that is client end. I will just follow the same steps, change directory twice, and then change directory to Python 27. Then I will write the client program name. So it is client itself, so client dot py, and the two arguments which it will be taking, that is number 1 and number 2, I will be giving here itself. So that's why I will write the first number, let us say 2, and second number is 4. Okay, so make sure that you will first you run the client server before you start running the client, because once the server is ready to serve, then only the client can take use of that one. So if the server is not there, then how you can access something from that one? So here you should observe, or you should keep in mind that first I will execute the server end, that is the right one, and then I will go for the left one. So that is basically client. So now I am in the server command prompt, and I will just hit enter. So now it is showing me server is good to go. that means the server has been activated and it is up and running. Then I will go to the client. Now you can see I'm in the left portion and I have written the arguments here. Okay, then I will just hit enter now. So it is saying that sending the first number 2, so received first number 2, then sending the second number 4, then second number is received, that is 4. The addition of the two numbers is 6. 4 plus 2 is 6 obviously, and sending the result 6. So as you can see, my communication has been established successfully. So my client and server are able to communicate with each other. So whatever number which I have sent from the client has reached the server, and whatever the server has done the calculations, and whatever it has created the result, that result I am able to display it here. So the main motto of our discussion is completed now. So this is how you will be able to make a real connection between these two files. So note that guys, it is not necessary that these two files should be on the same computer. So you will be sitting in one room in one city and your friend will be sitting in other city. So then you just ask him to open the command prompt, and you take the client and just tell him to take the server end. So tell him to run the server code at his lappy and run the client code in your lappy. Then try there. Actually I have tried and I got the results there. So you will be able to communicate over distance. So the IP address of the machines will of course differ, but you will be able to establish connection there also. So that is the sure thing, because this is how the real world will be working, because no electronic machine will be having both the client and the server. So just sake of simulation I'm showing here, so side by side windows. So in real world they will be apart from each other only. So let me just show you few other examples. So if I change these numbers, what will happen? So I will just take first number as 100 and second number as let me just take 100 only. If I hit enter, then you can see the result is 200. And similarly you can take any number guys, any means any. So if I take some big numbers, let us say 1024 and 1023, then see what is happening. 2400 for 2047 is the answer. So like this you will be able to add any numbers and send data, receive data, anything you can do. So if you understand this basic thing, then you can build anything on top of this one. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you found something 10%, if this video has helped to you, then please guys hit the like button and subscribe the channel, because we will be uploading these type of complex and tougher problems day by day. Because as I said in my introduction itself, I just want to waste time on doing the for loop and if loop. I just want to show you something which is actually real and which is expected by the industry. So these are the programs which you will be seeing in our upcoming days as well. So thanks for being with us and bearing me for this time, and I just want to see you in my next video. So please guys subscribe the channel and stay with us. Thank you, thanks for watching.